I'm going to show you step by step how I created this AI podcast video.
Bubbles than being trapped in a walled garden. Freedom, bro. Freedom.
Yeah, freedom to get hacked.
Better than paying $1,200 for a phone stand.
We'll let the people decide. Apple lovers stay polished.
Android Army, stay free.
Catch you next time on Tech Throwdown.
If you want to start a podcast without showing your face, this is your opportunity to get in. In this video, I'm going to show you how to create this AI podcast. My name is Charles. Let's start a podcast. The first thing we are going to do is to create a script for the podcast, which is free to do. So we are going to go to ChatGPT and we're going to make sure that it is in 4.0. And then we're going to enter this prompt. We are going to say, create a short Apple vs Android heated podcast with 2 speakers. And boom, we have the result. You can see that's created a podcast for us. Now, if you have a podcast idea, you can just write it out yourself. But you can also gear ChatGPT to the direction or to the type of podcast that you want it to create. You can see this is a debate about Android or Apple and stuff like that. You can see Mike, Jay, 2 characters, and this is the conversation between Mike and Jay. So you can see it right here. It's quite a short podcast, so you can make yours long, all right? This is very short for the purpose of this tutorial. If this is your first time on this channel, just subscribe. Drop the like, drop comment. This is a wonderful community. There are lots of valuable videos in this channel. So I'll see you. Let's get back to the video. So after you've gotten the script, the next thing that you're going to do is to go to 11labs.com. Now, 11labs.com is a platform where you can generate text to speech, sound effects. And another interesting thing is the studio that they have. So if you click on studio, you can create a podcast from scratch. So 11 Labs has made it very easy for you to create podcasts, for those of you who don't know, create podcasts with AI. And there are 2 methods to do this. I'll be covering those 2 methods. The first one is the one I'm showing you. So just make sure that you're in studio in 11 Labs. So you can just click start from scratch, and then you just paste your script here, your podcast script. And they made it easy that after pasting your script, you can just delegate who is going to say what. Or just click on create a podcast and then upload a document or import from a URL or from an existing project. So what this does is it creates a podcast automatically from the document you upload or from a link or from a project that you've done in the past. It just generates the conversation. But if you want to have full control of whatever the podcast is about, once you've generated your script, what you can do is just to copy this script. So you're going to copy this conversation down here, copy it, and then go to 11 Labs, and then click on Start from Scratch and paste here. So once you have the script, you're just going to take out, these stuffs, the names and all this, and leave only this. So what you can then do is to delegate who's going to speak here. So this is Light Buzz. So I can click here and add a new voice. I can add a new voice here. Select a new voice and add and make it like 2 different speakers. But this method will take a bit of time. What you can do instead, which is the easier way, the second method is to come down where it says Audio Tool, click on it, click on VoiceOver Studio, and then create a voiceover. Now, this is what you're going to do. You click on create a voiceover and then enter a title here. I'm going to call it AI Podcast. And then you're going to upload an audio or a video. So to just open this voiceover studio, just upload any audio or video file that you have. So I'm going to click here and then I'm going to click create voiceover. And then it has taken me to this voiceover studio. So I'm going to delete everything here. I'm going to delete everything that is there and make sure there's nothing in the timeline. Now we are starting from scratch, afresh. So the next thing we're going to do is to import our script. So we're going to click on this settings icon here and then click on import script. And then you can see here it says import a script as a CSV file will automatically create a speaker track for each character and clips for each of their lines. Currently we support CSV files only with the format of either speaker line, start time, end time, or speaker line. So you're going to tell ChatGPT to just create a CSV file in this format that is here. So we are going to go to ChatGPT and say, save this in a CSV file using the following format, speaker line. And boom, you can see the result here. It has created it. And what we are going to do is to download the CSV file. So we're going to click on download here to download the CSV file. And here's the CSV file. It has created it with that format, which is speaker and line. So here it shows all the speakers, mic, and then the line, J, and then the line, mic, line, just like that. This is what we want, all right? So we are going to import that CSV file in 11 Labs. I'm going to click here and boom. So you can see it I've created the podcast automatically. All right, it have created everything. So if I zoom out, you can see the timeline. This is the conversation in the script that I generated. This is the conversation here. So all I have to do is just to click on generate stale audio. And boom, we have an audio. So the reason why I like 11 Labs for podcasts is because if you're using the VoiceOver Studio, you have, access to generate audio for each speaker and you can export it per track. So you don't need to cut it out later, all right? So it makes it very easy. So if you play this now, you'll see that Mike has his own track.
I'm Mike, the guy who knows real innovation starts with an...
It's not the voice that I want. For this first track, which is Mike, I'm going to use Mark. And then for J, I'm going to use Lightboards.
I sound like a friend talking to you at a party and not someone reading a book. Use me for a good time and bring your characters to life. Cheers.
All right, so it looks good. What I'm going to do is to click on generate stale audio. Anytime you make a change to the audio, just click on generate stale audio so it can, refresh and regenerate.
Welcome back to Tech Throwdown. I'm Mike, the guy who knows real innovation starts with an Apple logo.
So you can see there's a space here in the timeline. And the great thing about this studio is you can just move things and move them closer. So if I move this closer here and play it, let me play this.
Who knows real innovation starts with an Apple logo.
And I'm Jay, here to remind you that Android rules the world, not overpriced fruit.
Okay, cool. So we are going to make sure that we move all the voices closer to each other. And if you feel like you want to add something else in between, you can just click on the track here, all right? And then you see a box that will open here. So you can just add something, maybe ha ha ha, add a laugh or add a different script, all right? A very short script, click on generate. And then it's going to generate the audio. So if I play it now, you see what I just generated. Is that supposed to be a laugh? Anyway, you get the point. So I'm going to move this and ensure that all of them are close to each other so that once the speaker finish, speaking, it's going to move on to the next speaker. So I'm going to do this for all the vocals and let me play this.
Mike, the guy who knows real innovation starts with an Apple logo.
And I'm Jay, here to remind you that Android rules...
So I'm just going to move and make sure that everything is in order. And this last track that says together, if you notice, this is just one voice.
Next time on Tech...
It doesn't even have the voice. So I'm going to move this here. Here it says mic, right? Let's play it.
Catch you next time on Tech Throwdown.
It still has the wrong voice. So I can delete, I can just copy this and then take this out, click here, add it, generate. And if I play it, you see.
Stay free. Catch you next time on Tech Throwdown.
So we have that. And this track is not useful. You can just delete the speaker. So once you're done, it's going to look like this. You can see the timeline here. All right, looks good. Now, once we are done with generating all the audio and we're done arranging it properly, what we can do is to click on export. Now, what we are going to do here is we are going to click on export. All right, you're going to select audio tracks zip file. Very important. If you don't select it, it's not going to export each track. It's just going to export everything as a single MP3. So we click on export and boom, we have the track here. What we can do is to click on download. We have a copy of it. All right. So here's the zip file. I'm just going to extract. As you can see, this is track 2, track 3. We have the 2 tracks for the speakers. Now, this is interesting. Now we have the tracks. The next thing is to generate the images that we'll be using for this podcast. So we're going to go back to ChatGPT. Now, you can use any image generation tool to do this, all right? But I'm going to use ChatGPT. I'm going to enter this prompt. Prompt says, create a 3D pixel style image of a 27-year-old Caucasian American man named Mike. So remember, one of the speaker is Mike, all right? And it's still under the same chart where I generated the script. So I said wearing headphones and speaking into a studio microphone while recording a podcast. His hands should be visible, gesturing naturally as he speaks. The background should depict a cozy podcast studio with a couch, acoustic panels, indoor plants, bookshelves, soft lighting, and podcasting gear. So, and then I say the aspect ratio should be YouTube size 16:9. All right, which is this. Interesting. And then I hit generate. And boom, we have this image right here for Mike. You can see how Mike looks. Mike looks good. We are going to do for the next speaker. We are going to say create a 3D pixel image of a 31-year-old black American man named Jay. The other speaker is Jay. So this prompt is to generate for the second speaker. And boom, we have the image for the second speaker here. You can see he looks good talking to the mic. We're almost done, right? Now, the next thing we're going to do is to go to Hydra. You're going to go to hydra.com. So you don't need to worry about the prompts that I'll be using in this video. I'm going to leave the prompt in my Telegram channel. So if you have not joined the Telegram channel, the link is in the description of this video. Now, we are in Hydra. What you're going to do next is to click on video. Make sure that you're on the video part. And then we are going to upload the image of the first character, Mike. Well, we have uploaded Mike, and then we're going to upload the audio. We're going to upload track 2. Now we have the audio for this speaker that we just uploaded the image. Now you need to confirm and be sure that the audio track that you're uploading or that you've just uploaded is the right one for the speaker, right? So let me play this.
Welcome back to Tech Throwdown. I'm Mike, the guy who knows real
You can see I'm Mike, so I know that this particular audio is for the Mike character that I just uploaded. If I play it,
innovation starts with an Apple logo.
now you can see this silence here. Nothing is happening here. But on the other track, the other speaker would be speaking on this part that is silent. All right, that's why you have the silent there. And if you move this, there is also silence here. If I play it, there is nothing here because the other speaker will be speaking in this other part. And now this speaker, Mike is speaking now. So it's just turn by turn, just like a podcast. The only thing is, like I said, we made sure that we exported each track for each speaker so it will be easy for us when we are lip syncing and also editing the video, putting everything together. So now we're going to click on add to video, and then we're going to say a man speaking, and then we're going to hit generate. Boom, we have our video ready. We are going to do this for the next character. Going to upload the image and then add the audio, so track 3. So let's play this to confirm. So if you play it now, you'll see that it starts with silence. Nothing is playing, right? Because the first speaker is speaking.
And I'm Jay, here to remind you that Android
So you can see now he's speaking
rules the world, not overpriced fruit.
and silence. So he just introduced himself that he's Jay. So we are sure that this is his track. And then we add it here. And then we add this prompt that says a man speaking. And then we hit generate. And boom, we have the video ready. I'm going to play this video. It's very, very interesting video. Very funny video. So we're going to go to the next part, which is very interesting. We're going to go to CapCut. So we have the 2 videos. This is for Mike and this is for Jay. You can see him speaking. So what we're going to do, like I said, we're going to take this out from this track that has the cover and AI. This track that auto moves, you take it out of this track here. and put it here. And then we're going to take first speaker, we're going to move first speaker up, and then move J to the side. So we have the first track on top, which is the first speaker, and then for the second speaker, we have him just below. All right, so what I'm going to do next is to zoom in and cut the video accordingly, right? So you can see this part here where it shows like a bit of audio wave. We know that someone is speaking there, and this part where there's no audio wave, no one is speaking. So we are going to move this here. We are going to select the both tracks and then move this and try to split it just before the next person speaks, right? So we are going to split it here, and then we're going to move this again. You can see here, and then we're going to split it again, and then we'll just keep doing that. You just look at the audio waves. Anywhere that is silent, just look at the audio waves and cut it. So what we are doing is we are trying to take out where the silence is. So for example, this starting part, I can decide to take this part out, delete this part that is silent, and then here the first speaker is not saying anything, I can delete it. So if I play it here, if I play this,
with an Apple logo.
And I'm Jay, here to remind you that...
so you can see how it switched from this to this person. All right. And the same thing here. I can decide to delete this part that's not saying anything and delete this part here. And then if I play it from here to here,
Way more secure. Way more secure.
Secure? You mean locked down like a prison? Android gives freedom. You can actually customize your phone, not just change the wallpaper.
so you can see it makes it very, very interesting. So what you want to do if you want to split the screen, you can put two speakers on, on the screen, one on the left and one on the right. So what I can do here is this part here where there's some sort of laugh, I'm going to cut the track here and move it forward and split it here, right? Now, what I'm going to do is to select this first track and then click on it and move it to the left. And then I'm going to come down here, right? Where it says mirror, click on mirror, and then it's going to mirror the video to face the other side. So I'm going to move it again to the left. And then the track, the other clip that is at the bottom, which is this video showing at the background here, what I can do is to also move it to the left. All right. But you can see that this video is covering it. So I'm going to click on this top track and I'm going to click on this crop icon here, crop ratio. And I'm going to drag this here and drag this here. Okay, and click confirm. So you can see you can see how it looks. The two speakers, they are facing each other. So if I play this now,
Seven.
Half of those Android phones lag after 6 months. I'd rather have a polished experience than a...
so you can see it split the screen. So you can see here, I've arranged it accordingly. I also added like a title here. I can see Mike host and then here J guest, and you can see how it looks. It looks beautiful. So what I can do is just to click on export and we make sure that video is selected. We give it a good name. And then once we're done, you click on export and you're going to have something like this.
Welcome back to Tech Throwdown. I'm Mike, the guy who knows real innovation starts with an Apple logo.
And I'm Jay, here to remind you that Android rules the world, not overpriced fruit.
Overpriced? Bro, I'll take premium over plastic any day. iPhone is smoother, faster, and way more secure.
Secure? You mean locked down like a prison? Android gives freedom. You can actually customize your phone, not just change the wallpaper like it's 2007.
Half of those Android phones lag after 6 months. I'd rather have a polished experience than a glitchy science experiment.
That's outdated talk. My Pixel wipes the floor with your iPhone in speed, camera, battery, and guess what? I didn't have to sell a kidney to buy it.
Yeah, enjoy your random app crashes while I'm over here with seamless updates for the next 5 years.
Apple gives you updates that slow your phone down just to make you buy a new one. Nice business model.
Whatever, man. At least my texts don't look like green alien puke.
Better green bubbles than being trapped in a walled garden. Freedom, bro. Freedom.
Yeah, freedom to get hacked.
Better than paying $1,200 for a phone stand.
We'll let the people decide. Apple lovers stay polished.
Android Army, stay free.
Catch you next time on Tech Throwdown.
This is funny. I love Android. I'm an Android user, so I go with J. Right. So if you have enjoyed this video, subscribe, like, drop your comments in the comment section. And if you want to see me do this to a realistic character, a real person, not an animated image, right? There's a platform that allows you to do this with real image and real people, and it looks extremely realistic. The hand gestures and everything, just let me know in the comment section. I mean, Hydra did a good job. I'll rate it 7.5 over 10. But this other platform that does it for real human beings. In fact, I use the platform to run ads on my products. If I want to talk about the platform, just let me know in the comment section what you think about this. And also, if you have not watched this video, check it out. It's also very helpful.